Alright, good morning guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'll be talking about the 8.1 preview coming up for the update 8.1 for World of Tanks Blitz. What we'll talk about today is some of the major changes that will probably hard affect some tanks, and the armor buffs and nerfs that are coming to some tanks. So, to start with, a big buff is going to the Ho-Ri Type 1 with its engine power being increased from 550 horsepower to 630, with its effective weight ratio now on hard terrain going from 13.41 to 15.36. And its traverse speed is going from 34 to 39 degrees per second, which is pretty big if you think about it, because the Ho-Ri Type 1 isn't a very fast tank destroyer by standards, but it probably could help a little bit in some situations where if you're getting circled, it can kind of help you turn a little bit faster and get that big 120mm gun out on the next target. Another thing is, some of the guns, as you can see here, are losing a little bit of penetration depending on the gun. The T20 is getting a DPM buff and an HP buff, so it's going from 1,150 to 1,250, so it's getting about a 100 health or 150 health increase. No, 100 health increase, what am I talking about? Its rate of fire is going from 7.8 rounds a minute to 8.2 rounds a minute. Its reload time is going from 7.6 to 7.2, and its DPM is going from 1760 to 1853. Its APCR is going from 1486 to 1565, and its HE is going from 2112 to 2223. Can't speak. Most of the tier 7 mediums are getting HP buffs, so they're getting about 100, 150, 100 health buffs. Except for the Eagle 7, whose speed is going up by 2 kilometers. I don't really think it's going to help it that much. Personally, I would have probably gone for a pin buff, because I hear the AP pin on it is atrocious. It's not really that good. Other than that, the T29 didn't need a buff to begin with. It was a pretty good tank, but it's getting a DPM buff. So its rate of fire is going from 5.8 to 5.9. It's going from a 10.2 to a 10-second reload. And you can see the DPM, like from its old, which is the white, to its new in the green. The M6A2E1 is getting traverse speed buffs on hard terrain from 25 to 26, 19, 19, 13, 14. The T25AT and the Jag Panther are getting speed buffs. They're losing about 6 kilometers and 5 kilometers an hour, so they're going a little bit slower. Other than that, they're not receiving any other nerfs or buffs that I know of. The T25-2 is getting an extra 15, I think. No, it's getting I'm an idiot. It's getting an extra 5 millimeters of penetration, which that is good. It is a good tank if you know how to play it right. The T28 HTC is getting a penetration buff, going from 181 on the standard to 190, and its APCR is going from 224 to 235. Now this right here is probably the biggest change that is right now. The LTTB is getting an engine nerf, so its engine power is going from 700 to 630. Its effective power to weight ratio on hard terrain is going from 51 to 46. On medium terrain, 38 to 34, and on soft terrain, 23 to 21. Those are big drops. This tank, I don't know if it will still be good in the current meta after this nerf. We'll just have to wait and see. The traverse speed is going from 66.9 to 60, 50 to 45, and 30 to 27. Again, we'll see once the update comes out to see if it's still competitive or not in the current meta. Again, with the tier 7 mediums, the T43, T4485, T3485, Rudy. They're getting a little bit of HP, like extra 100 health, 200 health. The IS is getting an engine nerf. Oh, the IS is known to be a fast boy. Its effective power to weight ratio is dropping from is going from 13.7 to 13.1. It shouldn't be too much of a big change. The IS is still a very competitive tank. It's not as armored as the KV3, but it's just as good, just a little bit faster, in my opinion. Speaking of the KV3 is losing a little bit of speed, losing a little bit of traverse speed, but it's gaining base aim time, better dispersion, and better on the move and rotating on dispersion, which, again, I'll see how it plays. I haven't played the KV3 in a while. The SU-100M1 is getting traverse speeds. It's not big traverse speeds like we saw in the LTTB, so it shouldn't be too bad, but then again, you don't know until you actually play the tank when the update comes out. Again, the SU-122-44 and the ISU-122S are getting dispersion and aim time buffs. The SP-1C, or the Spared Panzer 1C, is getting a rate of fire buff on its auto-loading gun. It's 90mm mechanics, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. So it's going up an extra, it's going from 8.7 to 9.4 or 9.04. Its shells will now be ready in 2.5 seconds instead of 3 seconds, and its DPM is going from 1961 to 2035. 1656 to 1718, and 2353 to 2442. The Panther is sadly losing a little bit of health. It's dropping from 1,270 to 1,250. The J Panther is losing 5 kilometers an hour speed. And then the Saint Emile, or the Sturder Emile, I don't know why I said Saint, but its engine power is going from 310 to 370. On hard terrain, its effective power is going from 7.7 to 9.2. On medium terrain, it's going from 6.5 to 7.8. And on soft terrain, it's going from 4.06 to 4.84. Its traverse speed is going to be a little bit better, and its top speed is going to be a little bit better. So it's going from 33 to 40, 28 to 34, and 17 to 21, which is pretty good. That'll help you get around faster. And then the speed is going from 25 to 30. The Comet is getting traverse speed buffs. It's going from 45 to 46, 41 to 42, and 30 to 31, and its forward speed is going up to 55. This is what I call a burf. I'm going to call it a burf. It's kind of like a mix between a nerf and a buff, because you are losing a little bit of base time and dispersion on the Black Prince, but you're gaining that extra 5 kilometers an hour speed. I talked to Simply. If you don't know him, he's been in a few of my videos. Go watch those videos. But he said it really shouldn't change much about the tank, because if you know how to play it well enough, you know how to play it good, it should actually kind of help it compete a little bit better against, Smashers and Annihilator, because you'll be able to get to the battle a little bit faster. The Challenger, it's getting nerfs and buffs everywhere. It's actually gaining a little bit of weight. That's alright, I guess. Its traverse power to weight ratio is getting nerfed a little bit by like 1 or 2, maybe 2 degrees or percent. Its traverse speed is going from is gaining a little bit, and its forward speed is losing 2 kilometers an hour. The Chi-Ri is getting an engine power buff, which it needed. I can see it being a little bit more competitive now. I think this is the one. Yeah, it has an auto-loading 75mm gun, which is actually, it's a very good tank. Most of the Japanese tanks, like the early tanks up to like tier 7, aren't really the best, and I'm talking about the medium tanks. The tier 7 Japanese SPG is actually a very good tank, the Chi-To SPG, I think. But the engine power is going from 550 to 630. Its power to weight is going from 13 to 15. Its on medium terrain is going from 11 to 13, and its soft terrain is going from 9 to 11. Its traverse speed is going from 38 to 44, 35 to 40, 28 to 32. The IS-2 Pravda is actually getting a little bit better base aim time. The T-34-1, its penetration is going down a little bit, but its base aim time and HP are going up. The IS-2 is getting a base aim time buff and a dispersion buff. The T-34-2G FT, the tier 7, Chinese SU-122-44 basically, is getting a little bit of traverse speed nerfs, going from 43.9 to 42.7. 37.1 to 36.1, and 32.2 to 31.3. The AMX 1357, that might come back out soon if they're buffing it. Its penetration is going up to 160, and its APCR is going up to 220. This right here is the biggest like one of the list. The AMX M445, for the longest time, from what I've played and what I've seen played, this tank needed a buff. So the gun HP, they're talking about the 105mm Canon 13TR. Its gun HP is going up from 148, or its module HP is going from 148 to 170. Its DPM, on its AP, is going from 1764 to 2160. I don't really understand this, but it is getting. Oh, it's comparing it to the 90mm. It's getting power to weight buffs, armor buffs, gun dispersion buffs, shell velocity buffs. It's getting a bunch of different buffs and nerfs. Again, tanks are gaining health, losing penetration, traverse speeds, penetrations. This is the biggest one. The ARL's 90mm gun is losing 12 degrees of pen, which, being 100% honest, I don't think is going to change the tank that much. This tank, the ARL is still going to be one really broken tier 6 in my opinion. So 12 degrees of gun, or 12 degrees, or not 12 degrees, 12 millimeters of less pen really shouldn't make much of a difference to anything. So now the tanks I want to talk about here in the armor section. I don't know about the E3, but I do know the 50B is getting a turret buff. It's going from, let's see here, from about 100, depending on how you look at the tank. If you're looking at it front on like this, just aim in like this, that turret is about 193mm thick, and if you go into a good hold down position using full gun depression, like this degree right here, that is about 253 in some places. It just depends on where you aim at. To where this tank, if I can figure out how to go back, I'm gonna press escape, there we go, is now going to have a thicker turret where it can be up to 254mm thick or 237mm thick, and if you go into a good hold down position, you can get that turret up to 290, close to 300 in some places. So this tank is going to be even more broken than it already is, because a lot of people say it really didn't need the buff that it's getting to its turret, but because it was already performing well. But I guess it is what it is, to be honest. The ST1 is getting a little bit of turret, a little bit extra cheek armor right here, because I guess people didn't like it was getting heat spammed. It's not a very big buff. Let's see, if I can scroll down to it, where is it? Give me a second, guys, I will find it in a second. It's, there it is. The Tiger 1. This one's going to be more confidential than the other ones. Its lower plate is getting nerfed. This part right here, where it's only about 160mm thick, it's getting nerfed to, I think, 130 or 145. So if you're aimed at like this, yeah, it's only going to be like 140mm thick here at the front. Even if you angle it, it's up to 191, which then again, you still got all of this that you're exposing. So, to be honest, the Tiger 1 is still going to be a very competitive tank, I can see. It's just that lower plate's going to be more of a weakness now. Another tank to show, like I said, is the AMX M454, or AMX M445. So this tank has 90mm or 153mm here in the front. Its side armor is about 40mm thick. So roughly at a good degree, using full gun depression at about this angle, about right here, you can get about 245 off the front plate and about 88-ish. Or aim it like this angle, yeah, well that's like 120-ish. But if in the next update, it's going to be, let's see here, 170mm thick on the front here, and about 70 on the side. So it's getting a bit of a armor buff. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like it, please comment down below what you'd like to see next. Hope your day goes well, and take care, and I'll catch you next time.